Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to go over all the builds that I'm currently doing, everything that's going on with all my stuff, and yeah, pretty much everything. So first off, excuse me, I got a really bad cold going on. I just wanted to ask, why haven't, maybe I just haven't been looking hard enough, but I know that gas engines for like RC aircraft can get pretty small. So why haven't people been building like gas P-51s, and I know they're more expensive and stuff, but I would imagine someone would at least do a gas flight test aircraft, like not scaled up or anything, like not like a 400% Mustang or anything like that. Like that I can understand being gas because you need a lot more power, but you know, like I can totally see somebody doing a small gas like P-51 or something, and I think that'd be really cool. You know, the sound would be amazing. Maybe it's just like a stupid question, and there's a really obvious reason why people aren't doing this. But yeah, sorry about my background. I just got like Windows 10 default slideshow on, so it's just kind of random stuff. So we're just gonna start and go right across and tell you guys what's going on with everything. We got the LVC VTOL aircraft. This is the 3 view that I'm doing. So what happens is, I think Flight Test already did a kind of version of this. They don't have plans out on it yet, but these wings go up like this. Then you have a tail rotor, so it essentially becomes kind of like a tricopter. Then you have 4 engines instead of 2, which I believe the Flight Test version only had 2. But I think that'd be really cool to have this, and it's a pretty interesting shaped aircraft too, so you'd have plenty of room inside to stick something. But yeah, that's the LVC. That's on my. I have plans started for that. That's probably not going to get done anytime soon. It is not on my build list, which we will be going over later. B-17, a lot of stuff in here. I've been recording hours on hours upon hours of video of me building, and I'm going to condense that all into one like 5-minute video, just so you guys can watch. I don't know how entertaining it's going to be. I would think it'd be kind of cool to see a time-lapse version of it. These just got done about 5 minutes ago. That better work, hold on. Yeah, okay. These just got done like 5 minutes ago. These are the first batch of plans that I have. These are all the testing I had to do to get the plans right, because I was having technical difficulties, as I mentioned in an earlier video. But yeah, so that's with the B-17. That's what's going on with that right now. Alrighty. Oh yeah, so with the B-17, I mentioned this in an earlier video. Probably going to do this paint job. There's kind of a yellow variant of it where there's like a yellow stripes kind of at a 60-degree angle going across, like right about here. I might do that one because I already have a red and white plane. Even though this is silver, I'm still going to keep it white just because I don't have gray paint, and I'm building this out of Elmer's foam board, which is a lot more expensive, like $2.99, and I spent like 15 bucks on 5 sheets yesterday, so I'm used to building Elmer's though, so that's not like a big deal for me. Something I want to mention with all my plans is, especially my 3D semi-symmetrical airfoil plans, is that I do leave room for all your wires, and I will be discussing modifications for putting wires in. However, I cannot afford to actually make these planes fly. I kind of can just like hang them up on my wall until later on when I can afford to make them fly. So I just want to remind everybody that I do not size this to any specific battery. There is no hatch to put your battery in as of right now. I will be working on designs for that or ideas for that. But all the control surfaces do move. They are all scale. Basically what you see is what you get. I don't have any plans or any written thing on, or any written tutorial on how to put batteries and all your electronics in. Servos, I can't imagine are too hard to figure out where you want them to go, especially with this build, because this is all going to be covered with the entire fuselage is pretty much all going to be oak tag. So not oak tag, the poster board. So you can just cut holes and just glue them anywhere. I would put them in the tail section back here, because you're going to have plenty of room between the actual structural fuselage and the outside of the aircraft, or the poster board. So the tail section here is actually two pieces glued together. Yeah, so it's going to be like two pieces parallel to each other, glued together, because this did have a very thick tail, and I really wanted to get very realistic with that. The rudder, I haven't really figured out how I'm going to do that yet, because we are going to have two pieces side by side, so it's going to be kind of a little different. I might have one side be a little bit edged in more than the other one. Turrets. Front turret, don't have that. Top turret, don't have that. I don't have any turrets, to be honest, yet. For the inside of here, where there's the, I'm just going to call this a spinal turret, and the waist gunners right here, what I suggest you do is I suggest you either build your interior completely out of black foam board, which I think would look the best if you were doing that. Not the wings, though the wings wouldn't look very good in black, but just like the inside of the structural, that's not going to be seen that too much, because when you cut in this box right here, it'll be black on the inside, kind of like you see here. It'll be black in here, so you kind of get the idea of the inside of the plane a little better. I am working on a design for this back guy right here. He's going to be the first guy to get done, and the very end of the aircraft, which are both weird shapes. So I think I'm just going to kind of move forward. There is a ball turret on the bottom of the aircraft, kind of like right there. You can kind of see the gun pointing down. That was a retractable turret, and so when you landed, it would actually retract back up into the aircraft, so you wouldn't scrape it on the ground. I'm probably not going to add that turret. I might, because this plane's probably going to be a belly lander, at least my version is. There is plenty of room for gear inside the engine cowling and stuff, and you will have, like it's scale. It's basically scale. So whatever you want to do to modify that, power to you. I would love to see some gear on this. I may design gear, I'm not sure yet. I do have the wheel size in my PDF file. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Probably not going to put out wheels for it though. Doing retractable landing gear would probably be extremely difficult with this aircraft the way it's set up. This does not work with, well, I'm not sure if it doesn't work. I assume it doesn't work with micro, or not micro, mini power pods. But I have a kind of like, I don't have my own power pod design out yet, but I do have room in there where you're going to mount your motor inside there on maybe two sheets of foam board stacked on top of each other. It's going to be plenty strong enough. You're going to have plenty of room to put your ESC in there and everything, or if you want that to go. There's a lot of room inside of these for whatever engine. Props, you're going to have to find your own props for this. I always like the look of the three blades, like however many props the original plane had, that's what I would want on my design. But I don't actually have an exact measurement on what props you should buy. Top turret, I have the ability to make plans for that. I haven't made that yet. That's probably going to be like a profile turret, and then you can cover that with that. This turret right here, I don't even have it all, because on the plans that I used, I used an earlier model of the B-17, which did not have this. I think it was the B-17E that this started to come on to, that they started putting this on. So I don't have that on mine. Let's see. Don't even have an idea on how I'm going to do the front bubble here. That's going to be a challenge, but I will figure it out. Yeah, so actually, I just want to mention this, something interesting. I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, but I always think it's interesting. As you can see, the wings are silver and shiny, the bare metal, so it reflects the color of the sky and everything. and also reduces the weight of the aircraft by eliminating paint. But as you can see right here, they have a matte finish right here in kind of a green color. That was actually there for a purpose, and it was so while you're flying the aircraft, the sun doesn't reflect off the shiny metal surface into the pilot's eyes. They had this on a lot of fighters too, and I thought that was interesting when I figured out what that was for. So yeah, that's my B-17. What's going on with that? F-8F Bearcat. What do we got here? This is what I got from my Bearcat. I thought it was interesting how the engine cowl actually is angled a little bit down. I haven't even started that. I do have the plans that I want though. F-82. These are just the I already showed you guys my F-82. I did not lengthen the fuselage like I should have, but you know, sorry. It's not exactly scale, but I like it. I went into very high detail with that, and I think it came out amazing. It's hanging on my wall over there. These were just the decals that I used, and the wheels that I have cut out. I haven't attached them yet. H6K4. I really want to do this build. I could not find any balsa wood plans whatsoever though for this. I know they exist, but the only ones I can find you have to pay for, and I'm not going to buy plans. Unless you guys really want me to do it, then I will. But I think this is just such a cool plane. It's so big and everything, and it was just such an early World War II bomber. So I thought that was just a really cool plane. I'm really excited to do that one. Horton Ho 22, whatever it is. Interesting plane, difficult to build. I started this and I wanted to do 30mm EDFs, but it got a little weird how this goes together, and it weren't really giving me, like, some of these pieces don't actually, I don't think actually work at all, and I gotta modify this so it would work with foam board, and I gotta modify it a lot. Like, this doesn't work at all with foam board right now. I have a very small amount done on the actual PDF for that, but it is started. Piper Cub, you guys saw this tutorial video. I do have plans out for that. Short Sterling, my very first build ever. This thing was amazing. It's actually incomplete over there while the entire aircraft is built. Right now I'm covering it with, what is that stuff? OTAG, because I don't use poster board. I like OTAG better, and I have it in more ready supply. 23 pages of plans. That was a 3 sheet. It was pretty big. Probably about 30 to 40, maybe 50-inch wingspan. I don't have a measurement on that exactly. However, I've not released plans for that yet because I want to get the engine cowling covers and everything done first. Kind of like the covering of like the actual like aircraft and everything. SM-79, I have my balsa plans for this. Just looking at these now, I should probably get a better set of balsa plans. This is all I have so far yet. I haven't started this build. What is this? Same thing. Alright, I haven't started that build yet. Starfighter. Why is this in here? That shouldn't be in there. So these are the plans I have for the Starfighter. They don't format correctly because of Adobe Acrobat's stupid system. I really like this plane. I like how it has tiny little wings for being so long and being so fast. What I'm thinking about doing with this is I do have the plan started a little bit. Because the wings are back here, I'm thinking about doing, and because this plane normally requires so much power in real life, I've seen the real thing. It's the exhaust is just massive. It's probably about 4 or 5 feet tall, It's the coolest thing ever. If you guys are ever in New York and gotta go to the Air and Space Museum, I would definitely check it. They got one hanging up there. It's so cool. Probably one of my favorite planes. It's just so weird how everything goes together, and I want this to be EDF. Because if I'm gonna make a jet, it's gonna be EDF. I'm not really big on the having a prop in the rear or everything. That's not really my style. But with foam board, you can't really make a ring that's going to support everything. I mean, you can, but it's really difficult to do. And for this, because it requires so much power, I've never used an EDF before. So 130mm EDF, I don't think would actually... I think it would fly. But I think I would want to put 2 EDFs lined up in here. And if that's just, like, incorrect, like, you wouldn't do that. Or you shouldn't do that, please like tell me, but I feel like that would just double the power of the aircraft and make it achieve the insane speeds that it was truly designed to. Oh yeah, and the front nose up here, I started building it and everything. I started getting my PDFs ready, just getting the wings going, these parts going, and I thought about the front and I was like, yeah, I really don't want to do that, so I gotta figure out a way to make the front out of foam board, make it look good, because I still want this curvature in the front there, so that's not really moving along too quickly there. And I think that's about it with everything that's going on. This should go... No, I'll leave that right there. So for the B-17, I do have videos of all my progress made on that. Pretty much everything. There's a couple cuts here and there where I just forgot to start filming. Here is my F-82, aka Double Mustang. This is a poor quality photo, but what I did here was I took this picture right here. As you can see, FQ415, 6415, everything I tried to copy directly from there. And as you see, FQ415, 6415. I tried really hard to make this as accurate as possible to the picture of the actual aircraft. However, once I was halfway through the build, I remembered that the fuselage was lengthened. I didn't think it was lengthened that much originally, but when I actually went and looked at the plans, they lengthened this like another like 12 feet. So on the real aircraft, so mine is completely out of scale. I do like it though; it looks great up on my wall over there. But yeah, it's out of scale. So that's all that's going on right now, guys, with everything that's I'm doing. If y'all play War Thunder, it's a great game. I've got over a month in it, which is kind of a little ridiculous, but you know, I really like the game. Oh yeah, I forgot to go over build list. B-29. It's basically the entire... You guys pretty much know what a B-29 is. It's not going to be a fun build. Thin wings, big wings, long wings. Pretty much the entire aircraft is like a tube, kind of like the B-17. A hashtag behind the plane name denotes that I've already started the build. Predator drone. I originally was questioning how legal that was to actually build like a Predator drone, because I would think the military would be like, oh no, you can't do that because that'll like scare people and stuff, but apparently it's very legal, and I really like that aircraft. That'll be cool. PBY, essentially a small H6K, gonna be fun to build. SBD-3 dive bomber, gonna be interesting with the air brakes there that I definitely want to put on that one. PBY, I'm not sure if it's going to be actually waterproof or not. TBF Avenger, another dive bomber. That one's also going to have landing flaps and air brakes. Bearcat, great fighter. B-24 Liberator, kind of like the not really short Sterling, kind of like a Lancaster, I guess. It's going to share a lot of the same qualities with the short Sterling, like the same fuselage, general idea on how it works. BF-1110, a twin-engine fighter from Germany. SM79 BIS L, 3-engined. I already showed you guys that. That one's already started. HS-129. It's called in the War Thunder community the duck plane because it has a yellow kind of nose to it, and it kind of looks like a duck a little bit. Interesting plane. It had a very weird cockpit design. So that's going to be fun to build. It's a very simple kind of triangularly shaped plane, so that shouldn't be too hard to replicate with CAD software. Horton Ho 229 V3. I already showed you guys that. That's the flying wing. Not really too fun of a build so far. IL-2. Most people know what an IL-2 is. Russia not early, but they used them all throughout the war to it's kind of like the Ju-87 of Russia. So fun bomber. It's gonna be fun to build. IL-4, a bigger bomber of from Russia. Gonna be interesting to build that one. Got a lot of weird shapes with that. Overall, I really do like the shape though. LA-5. That's a really cool plane. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the earlier one where the canopy tracks all the way back to the tail, or if I'm gonna do the later one where you actually have a bubble canopy. Year 2, that one is a gull-winged heavy bomber. Interesting thing about that is the most aircraft have their cockpit in the very center of the aircraft, like it'll be lined up. This one actually had it to the side. That was very interesting. It had a bubble cockpit off the side. P-8 was a 4-engine giant bomber of from Russia in World War II. I really like World War II, in case you haven't noticed. I've liked the planes and everything that came from there. It had, in the engine cowls, it actually had gunners in the engine cowls. So that was one of the very last planes seen in World War II to have something like that. Swordfish Mark 1, British biplane torpedo bomber. Interesting plane. It was very World War I-y. Had open cockpits and everything. Wellington, British bomber. These carried around the big 4,000-pound kind of like barrel bombs that they had. Twin-engined. It wasn't that great of a bomber. It did have a very strange structural system using only rhombuses, so it was extremely difficult to shoot down because everything was kind of like supported on, like, I guess a tubular chassis, if you think about it like that. The Firefly was an interesting kind of like medium attack thing. Was kind of like a big Spitfire, I guess. It had interesting wings though, so I really like it for that. HXK4. Already kind of started that build, not really, but can't wait for that flying boat to get going. G5N1 was Germany's answer to the B-29 and B-17. You can kind of see similarities between the B-17 and B-29, as in this one, because at that point Japan was kind of just starting to copy American aircraft for the designs and stuff. Big plane, huge engines, really long. That one's going to be an interesting build, and I hope to get most of these done. There are some that I'm just not going to do, like the SM79 BIS L. Might not get that done, probably won't. And the Horton Ho I really want to do, but I haven't found any good plans for it yet. The plans that I have aren't really working out because they're not structurally sound enough for foam board. Kai 10, early, what is it? Biplane. It was an early World War II biplane. Very lightly armored. Ling Temiko. Vought LTV XT 124. Don't know why that plans is in there. This was the VTOL aircraft that I showed you earlier with the 5 engines, 2 on each wing, and then the tail rotor for a tricopter kind of feel. Things I'm not sure if I'm going to do. Mosquito. Very curvy aircraft, very tubular, not a lot of straight lines in that. I'm not sure I'm going to do that one. P-61, Night Fighter. Interesting. I haven't really thought about doing a design like that before, where you have the tail section supported by a 2 kind of cowl struts that go back like that. So I'm not sure I'm going to do that one. Douglas DC-3. I actually forget what that is. Kai-45 was a Japanese kind of fighter, twin engine, kind of like a BF-110, only for Japan. Very curvy. Oh yes, the Douglas DC-3. It was a passenger aircraft converted over to a troop transport slash light bomber. So that one's also a very curvy aircraft. Interesting shape to it, very aerodynamic. Not sure if I'm gonna do that one. Do-217. All the Do-217s were very oddly shaped. If you look like a 3D model of one, or if you actually see one. So that one's I really would like to see a Do-217, but very strange shape to that. So I'm not really like super hype on doing that. One thing I want to add right now, because I was just remembering to do this. Focke-Wulf. Hold on. Focke-Wulf 200 Condor. I actually think I might have a more updated version of this list because I feel like I'm forgetting stuff. But the Condor was originally a 200 Condor. Let's take a look. So it was actually a this is just some War Thunder screenshots. War Thunder has some great models. A passenger aircraft that was known for going extremely long distances, and what they did was they turned it into a kind of heavy bomber, medium bomber, I don't know. But it has just such a cool look and cool shape. It looks very, very intimidating, I guess. It was kind of weird how they did it though. They put this asymmetrical thing on the bottom, and that's what they would drop their bombs out of. I don't know why they wouldn't just put it in the middle. So yeah, that was an interesting thing. There was a gunner on each side of that, and the landing gear. The landing gear was like this like reversed thing. So it was cool landing gear. 4 radials, turrets, pretty much everywhere. Here's a picture of the passenger version of it that was originally. It does have gull wings, very slight gull wings. They're kind of parallel through this section right here on both sides, and then they taper up right here. They did dihedral up. So interesting design. Yeah, so that's about it for my builds. I also went over my build list for this year and everything. So if you guys want to have any plane recommendations for me, I would love to add more. Obviously, I'm not going to get all of these done this year, but I would like to kind of just have this be like a kind of like bucket list of planes that I can cross off as I go. B-17 is the next one to be crossed off. That one's almost done. Actually, it pretty much is done. I just need to build it and make any very slight modifications to the plans that need to be done. So here's some interesting rocks for you guys. Oh, maybe we're getting a beach. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, please subscribe, and any video recommendations on how I can better this, especially my backgrounds, which need to be changed. And yeah, so I thank you guys for watching, and I will have the B-17s playing.